started with a bunch of kids in Milwaukee figured out that certain model Kias and Hyundais were unusually easy to steal. So they started breaking into them and then joyriding them around town.
Like this guy, he's just swerving back and forth. It's a crime of almost convenience, you know. Like these are super easy to steal, and then just do this, just swerve back and forth,
just swerving.
Word.
Heck yeah.
Wow. Konnichiwa minasan. Kyo desu. Apparently, there's been a recent trend of Kia and Hyundai vehicles being stolen by teenagers. Excited to watch this video, but before that, guys, we are close to 200,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe to the channel.
The screech of stolen cars can be heard ripping through roads.
They're stealing Kias and Hyundais with a cell phone charger.
And a new viral trend that is now a real-life menace.
Where you at? If you in Japan, Australia, you in the middle of Antarctica, and you got a kid that's on that, please be safe. See, I'm gonna beat your ass whoever did this, bro.
Earlier this year, the Kia Boys Challenge took over TikTok, and because of it, thousands of cars just like this one have been stolen with nothing more than a screwdriver and an iPhone cable. How the hell do you steal a car with just these two things? Well, today, we're gonna find out. Welcome to Donut. A couple of months ago, TikToks of kids stealing cars with nothing more than a USB cable and calling themselves the Kia Boys went viral.
Kia Boys.
That trend started with a bunch of kids in Milwaukee figured out that certain model Kias and Hyundais were unusually easy to steal. So they started breaking into them and then joyriding them around town. No, you heard of the Kia Boys?
That's a completely stupid trend. Why would you want to do that? What happens when kids got nothing else better to do with their lives, you know?
It's just hilarious because, like, these. Okay, no offense to Kia, they're like the most boring cars to steal.
I know.
Every video I've seen.
But it's easy and it's a car, so you know.
Tomfoolery. It's just like kids swerving. Like this guy, he's just swerving back and forth. It's a crime of almost convenience, you know. Like these are super easy to steal, and then just do this, just swerve back and forth,
just
swerving.
And
what's wrong with our youth, man? It's ridiculous.
What happens when you defund schools?
McFarlane is among Milwaukee's nearly 4,000 victims of car theft this year, many at the hands of the Kia Boys, stealing Hyundais and Kias for joyrides. Compared to this, thefts are down a bit.
What are these kids doing, man?
My baby, Gertie, is out there, jumping a curb and hitting somebody.
I feel bad too. Nolan doesn't give a shit about these people. The fact that there's another one.
That was comedy gold. That was insane, dude. Carol, I'm sorry that happened to your car.
And we're something that's just happening in Milwaukee. It's happening nationwide. In Detroit, 111 Kias were stolen in the month of July. In Charlotte, North Carolina, 156 Kias and Hyundais were stolen in the same month. And cops even in Chicago have reported a 767% increase in vehicle thefts. Even here in Los Angeles, there have already been over 1,600 more Kias and Hyundais stolen compared to last year.
Of course, in the major cities.
What I want to know is how are the Kia Boys doing this? Now, a car's ignition system is a pretty simple combination of a lock cylinder and an electrical switch. Use the right key and you can rotate that cylinder to activate a switch, which closes off a circuit to engage the starter. Now, in the past, thieves could steal your car by taking a screwdriver and ramming it into the ignition cylinder, or by using some sort of contraption like this to hotwire your car. Now, hotwiring a car isn't like what it is in the movies. What the idea is, you can rip apart the steering column, which we've already done. You can pull out the wiring from behind the ignition cylinder, and then take some sort of jumper wire and jump some of these lines, bypassing the switch itself in the ignition cylinder and starting the car. I'm going to look at the back of this plug here. What I need to do is just push in the clutch. Heck yeah. Hot-wired my first car. Now that wasn't particularly hard to do, but for the past couple decades, most automobile manufacturers have been defending against those types of attacks by installing immobilizers and using chipped keys. Now, using a chipped key installs a second electrical circuit to the starting system. That system only functions if the car detects the correct radio signal from a
Crazy you have to do all these extra stuff because human beings can't live like,
most cars will also have a
you know,
steering lock. That lock
can't live
won't
without
disengage unless
making
you have a
crimes,
key
you
in the
know?
ignition, making it nearly impossible to drive away with your car. Unless you just want to steer off in that steering wheel locked position the entire time. Then you're golden. Now, the downside to all of this is that immobilizers and chipped keys are often fairly expensive.
Yep.
And if you happen to lose your key, you often have to go to the
You're
dealership
screwed.
to get it reprogrammed. And because of that extra expense, some cheaper cars don't include them. Which brings us to the Kia Challenge. This is our buddy Connor's 2019 Hyundai Elantra, which has actually already been stolen once. So we're going to try to steal it a second time with nothing more than a screwdriver and a USB cable. You don't even really need this, but I'm going to use it because I want to try to be delicate.
Wow.
And when I say a USB cable like this, I'm not transferring data. I'm just physically using this shape matches up nicely with the backside of that ignition cylinder.
Oh, okay.
That's good. So I've taken this apart with 2 screws so we don't break the plastic. But what these guys do is this plastic's so flimsy, these little tabs, you just rip this down and these tabs pop off. So I'm going to get my plug out the way. See this is the problem area right here.
Of course, you have the sensor in, of
Yank it
course.
completely out. So I'm going to depress this and pull this cylinder out. And there we have it. So we got the ignition cylinder out. And so what this does is it mates up with the ignition cylinder right here. That looks to be about the same size. Just a USB plug. So here we go. Jam it on there. Moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. Building tension, suspense. Will it work? Heck yeah.
Wow.
Holy crap. Yo, I'm part of the Kia boys. I'm a Kia boy now. Nice. Craziness. Absolute craziness.
That's insane.
Pop this out, I have no clue. But what I do know is that some engineers over at Kia definitely messed up. How could such a large car company mass manufacture a car that's so easy to steal?
Right.
So we reached out to Kia to see what they had to say about the problem and received a very polite but largely uninformative response. They said, "It is unfortunate that criminals are using social media to target vehicles without engine immobilizers," calling it a coordinated effort by those criminals. They also added that all of our vehicles meet or exceed federal motor vehicle safety standards. But it turns out not everyone agrees with that, and there is now a class action lawsuit against Kia and Hyundai in several states. The thing is, other car manufacturers don't have this problem, at least that we know of. And so why did Kia put these in their cars in the first place? Well, it seems to me the only answer is cost. All of this could have been avoided by using an immobilizer. And in fact, cars in Canada have this same system in it, but use an immobilizer because they're required by law to do so.
Makes sense.
And this affects cars from 2011 all the way to 2021. If you were to factor in all the different models that use this over that many years, that is a ton of money that Kia saved. And now,
Backfiring. Yep. Wow. Yeah, Kia has a huge problem on their hands. First thing I want to say is that this trend is stupid. I feel like nowadays American youth have nothing else to do with their lives but cause trouble. And a few decades ago, you would never find teenagers doing something like this. And I think that's also a con of social media like TikTok, in which they can also promote certain trends that are very destructive to youth and to society as a whole. On one note, I didn't know too much about Korean cars until about 2010, because I think that's when they started getting more popularity in the States at least. But from what I know, Korean cars are always known for being cheap and not reliable. But recent times, it seems like they are becoming a bit more stable, if that makes any sense. I'm seeing a lot more Kias and Hyundais recently, and now I think they're trying to catch up and be the next Honda of Korea. And I don't know if this was just the company's fault trying to take shortcuts to save money, but if it was, obviously it backfired, because now thousands to potentially millions millions of people are affected by this trend of stealing these Kia cars. And I think this trend is going to expose this company, and a lot of people probably won't buy Kias in the future because they worry about their car being stolen like this. And I hope in the future they can make safer cars and harder to hack into. But again, I think that's why people love Japanese cars, because Japanese cars are reliable, they last a long time. You don't hear nearly as much people stealing the way that the Kia cars have been stolen. And I think that's also because of Japan's philosophy, is that they want to make things that will last long and basically give a product that people will get their money's worth from. I know Hondas from decades ago that still go for a fair price on the market because Japan didn't want to take shortcuts, and they took the right way, which is building cars that last and building a good reputation that no one can really talk bad about Honda or Toyota. But overall, this is definitely gonna hurt the reputation. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So if you guys like the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, also hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. Hontou, arigatou gozaimasu. Minna, 気をつけて。じゃあね。